Well, I finally got out the tripod and tried to give it a try. And so far it's working. I just hope that everything goes smoothly. First part of this video is going over the X-Maxx, why I traded it, its major shortfalls, and then go over my DBXL, what I got with the trade. If you watch my videos, I have a 53-minute video that goes over everything that you have to do with your X-Maxx when you get it, and it's Traxxas could have had a amazing vehicle, but they failed in so many areas, and I will go over some of them very quickly. Tires and rims. The tire strip, balloon, the foams inside of them are so soft that causes the impact goes to the wheels and causes them to crack. The differentials, even with the new hardened spiral cut differential gears, they still break. The final drive gear that's actually attached to the drive shaft, it will strip because there's so much power going to it, because it's a 26-pound vehicle. When I shipped it was actually 32 pounds, I believe. But of course I didn't have the stock motor set up in it or ESC. I had the Castle XLX 2028 set up. I'm trying to picture everything in my head. The slipper clutch shaft breaks even if you over tighten it just the smallest amount. The ESC, everybody knows the ESC problems. They even had a mass recall. I still have to send mine back because, yes, I still have mine because I'm going to use it in a different vehicle so I can run success on a vehicle. Oh shit. Drive cups split. That's my dog. The drive cup split. The CV pins and axle shafts snap like twigs because they're only, I believe, 5 millimeters. The CV pins are 3 millimeters, so you're going to have to go to Fastenal and get 3M by 20 millimeters CV pins so they won't break. Let me think. I will admit the Traxxas, the TSM is actually decent, but I don't like the fact that you can't, with Spectrum ABC, you can, if you have a DX4S or a DX4C, you can set the throttle and the steering rates at different proportions. I mean, you can have no steering help, but have throttle help, so it'll keep it flat in the air. So that was an actually nice thing. The self-riding feature will blow out your diffs. The body's so thin, just like every other Traxxas body, it'll break through the holes, the mounting holes. So you'll have to get some metal adapters. A lot of people have used. They make metal washers that you can buy off eBay. You can also get some Stampede wheel nuts, I believe it is, and put them on, and then just something to widen out where the load is onto the body. So, I mean, I just got tired of it just sitting. I mean, so far this has more runtime than I've had this for 2 weeks. It has more runtime than my X-Maxx has had on it, and I had it for 6 months, and I've already put more runtime on this. As it sits, it has, now I'm going to get to the DBXL and all the upgrades that I got with it, and then I'm going to go over, I know a lot of people stock, it's not all that great of a truck, especially the suspension rebound sucks. The pins and the drive shafts come out. Just a little problems. I mean, nothing big like the X-Maxx. I mean, you don't hear about stripped out differential gears, and with this, hell, a differential pinion and spur is $40-something, but they're huge. I mean, the ring gear by itself is that big. So from front to back, I have FID bulkheads and diff cases, front and rear. FID chassis braces. FID rear center rear drive shaft mount. I have I added a K&N air filter onto it. I'm going to go through other things that I got with it and some things that I got. As you see here, here's a wing that I'm going to mount onto it. You don't need a mount. You can just drill 2 holes right here and use some M4 bolts, and it'll hold it in place about right here. It gives it a nice sporty look. You're also going to want to cover these as much as you can because the tires will throw shit inside of it. I have, like I said, the K&N air filter with, I just took a nylon stockings, cut it down so it would cover the K&N air filter to give sort of a double redundancy to filter the air. And then I also have 2 outerwear filters to choose from. I still have to get a pull start filter. But I'm going to go back, the same problem with the HPI Baja 5B. These foam air filters from the factory, Losi over oils this thing so much that stock the top speed was 33 miles per hour. With K&N air filter, I'm getting closer to 40. This has a 23cc engine, so yes, it does need a bigger engine, especially seeing a 2-wheel drive vehicle. Comes with a 29. This is 4-wheel drive. It's heavier, has more moving parts. Only has a 23cc engine. I have a DDM Dominator pipe arriving tomorrow. I ordered it yesterday. I ordered it yesterday morning, very early in the morning, and they got it shipped out, so it will be here tomorrow. The stock wheels and tires. Before I go any further. But like I said, these foam air filters are so restrictive. They're so dense. They're no good. You need to get a dome, triple stage air filter, or get a K&N. A lot of people think the K&N air filters are a gimmick. No, they're not. They're made out of, they use cotton as the, what's that word? As the filter media, they use cotton. So that's why if you get them for a vehicle, they're warranted for 1,000,000 miles. That's quite a long time. Also, I have, it came with, and they weren't installed, but I installed them, DDM HD springs that really stiffens the suspension. So, as you can see, I push down, it comes back up, push down, comes back up. So there's no droop anymore. Same with the rear. FLM Forever drive shafts all around. One of the things I will say I don't like is the brakes. They're weak. The servos definitely have to be changed out eventually. They work stock, but you're going to need different servos. Again, you're going to want to put a fuel filter on it. Get a good air filter. What else have I done? No, I'll just go through all the parts. The stock tires. They're decent. They're not the best. They don't have a lot of they have no side tread. The regular tread is not all that great. The tread right here, it's not all that great. I had a set of Pioneers from King Motors, and I immediately installed them on the stock wheels, but then I noticed that the stock wheels bend very quickly. So I'm going to have to go over to my wheels. Some things I actually got in the mail today. Windshield mount from Full Force RC, right here. Area RC. Oops. Sorry, puppy. Area RC, steering links, toe links, whatever you want to call them. Got those today. All of this I got for $35. 3 pre-filters, the black and the red for the DBXL, and a black one. The 2 for the, hang on one sec. The 2 for the DBXL are outerwears. The one for the Baja is DDM, still works. I already have this piece, but it's the spur gear cover plate for the bottom. It goes right up under here. I mean, it's hard for me to get it. Mine is actually smaller, so less weight. Again, that's I also have DGI 1-inch extended hubs all the way around, so I have my wheelbase is widened by 2 inches. I got what was supposed to be a complete diff rebuild kit, but there are some parts missing. Not a big deal. I got all of this for $35. Hell, the pre-filters and the toe links alone go over $35 if you buy them new. And I also got a wing, which obviously is going to make it look cooler. Maybe it'll have some effect racing, because I race. But now I'm going to go to the things that I got with it. Of course, the stock hexes. The stock mounting hexes. A Kershaw Designs electric conversion kit. Extra A-arm pins in case you snap or bend one. You can't, those are right here. I'm not going to take everything out of the bag. I am selling the Kershaw electric motor mount. I've sent an order to get all the screws, because I got all the screws, but I'm not going to go through them all, and I'm missing some. So I ordered all the screws from him so I can sell that. I'm selling that just for $75. It comes with 2 motor mounts. It never even had one pack through it. The person who had this before me decided to get the MGM version, but it's $250 compared to $105. I already had some King Motor wheels with the Pioneer tires on it, so that's what these are. I have a whole box of parts that came with it. These are the stock chassis braces, plastic, stock bulkhead, stock, comes with some extra pinion gears, which they're actually for electric, but I'll never use those, so I'll be selling those. But just the diff cases, the bulkhead, all the plastic stuff, that's all been changed out with metal. Oh, also my steering brace is metal. My steering link is aluminum DGI, so I don't have that plastic one. Extra A-arms all the way around. These are the stock springs. As you can, the winding on the DDM HDs are a lot tighter, so they're a lot stronger and stiffer than these. So these aren't all that good. Extra turnbuckles all the way around, and the stock steering. This is the stock steering link that I'm talking about. The stock steering link is plastic, no adjustability or anything. But the one I have is DGI. Probably aluminum is what I would guess, with steel ends. Extra shock towers and body mounts. That's in here. All of this from Dollar Hobbies. What I really love is it's only $10 for this part, and this is the last part that I got with it. A complete set of complete set of Losi 5T front shocks with, if you look at this, it has the aluminum lower shock cap, not the plastic. Not selling these. Installing these once I get the rebuild kit, because they don't have the top bladders and they leak. One thing a lot of people don't like about this is you have to use 5, 6, 7, 8,000 weight shock oil, diff oil in the shocks, which that's like, okay, why do I have to use that? I also got a set of pistons. I don't know where they're at, but I'm not going to use them because I've heard too many stories about they shatter like glass because they're 3D printed. So I'm just going to move over to the Losi 5T shocks. I just need to get some red springs for the front. This is nose heavy. I will go ahead and say that. What else? It's a very fun car. It's a very fast car, especially for a 23cc engine. Doesn't have a lot of low end torque, but that's because the stock can. It is very restrictive, of course. I mean, it's stock. You're going to have to pay extra to get all of the power out of this motor. That's why I had to pay $150 for a Dominator pipe. But I don't mind that. One thing that I did and didn't like about the Traxxas X-Maxx was the quick mount body mount, easy mount, whatever the hell it's called. Just lift latch, put it on. But there's many times in my body I would hit a jump and it would just fly off. This uses 12 body pins to hold it on. You don't want to run without the cage because the cage actually reinforces the chassis. If you get, I'm going to get a Team Chase chassis, which is thicker, and it's 7075 T6 aluminum. It's thicker, and if you don't run the cage, you will get a bow in your a bow like this in your chassis because there's nothing holding it to stay straight. So that's another thing I'm gonna have to get. That's not a big deal. I mean, I know with RCs you have to pay to play. Again, with this one, I use 93 octane, 25 to 1 gas to oil mixture. Every now and then I'll try 28 to 1 if it's cooler outside, but not when it's hot. Like right now, right now outside it feels like 102 degrees. So definitely not running this outside. Using the Maxima Caster 927 two-stroke oil. Still 2061 gearing, which is stock. I think I mentioned the FLM Forever drive shafts. Got some other things ordered like the DDM. Got some Proline split 6 rims coming. DDM metal gas cover, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I can't think right now for some reason. But yes, this has a shitload of upgrades. He also included I traded my X-Maxx straight up for all this stuff. My X-Maxx had about 1,500, 1,700 into it. This had about 1,500, 1,700 into it. So we just did a straight trade, which was fine with me. I mean, I got a hell of a deal, and ever since I got my HPI Baja, I have been really into gassers. I love the gas. I love the ability that with a good receiver battery, especially if you get the Killer RC 7500 milliamp hour battery, you can run all damn day. A lot of people say, no, you can't. Okay, I know a lot of people that run nitros from the time the sun comes up to the time it goes down. Two strokes are even better because you're not going to lose compression as fast as you do with the nitro. And they have actual rings around the piston, unlike a nitro engine that just has that pinch. Nitros are basically a two-stroke diesel engine, except they use 20% to 33% nitromethane, and the rest is methanol. So yeah, I already had everything to get this baby going, get it running. It's been fun as hell. It took me a while. No, it didn't take me that long to get it set up to run. before I even ran it, he was going to sell the aluminum parts to somebody else, but that person fell through, so I included my Castle XLX ESC with the 2028 800 kV motor, and he gave me an extra $50. I got the aluminum parts for it. There is a extra tire carry you can get for the back, but I carry a spare tire with me always because you never know, something may go wrong, so I don't put it on there, and that's also extra weight. That's why I'm going to mount this wing on the back. It's a 10-inch Red Cat 5th scale wing, if you're curious. That's where you can get these wings that fit perfect, and it is completely to scale. Let me look inside and make sure. Running, of course, Spectrum DX4S with SRS 4201 receiver, but it's going to get changed out to a SR4, either 401 or 410, I can't remember, because I've been told by a couple people that you can't run a kill switch with the AVC setup, which is what the SRS have, even if you put in blinky mode, which what blinky mode does is it completely shuts off the AVC, so you can't even turn it on from your transmitter. It disables it at the receiver, so if you're racing, yeah. Of course, I'm going to get the FID aluminum center diff mount. What the hell was the name of that? Vertigo center diff lockout. I don't like the idea of having a center diff. The servos have metal blocks on top of them. Strengthened servo mounts, I believe is what they're called. I don't know the exact name, but they work great. The servos, I never have any problem with them. And like I said, this has had more run time than my X-Maxx. I'm going to turn it around so you can see the other side. You don't have to take the cage off to start it. You don't even have to take the cage off to put gas in it. Just get a funnel. I actually made a funnel out of some thick paper, and that works fine. Some thick paper, and then I taped up the seam with some Gorilla Tape, and it works great because I didn't have a long funnel, but I could put down in there that had a long snout. Again, Walbro WT668 carburetor with the choke, works great. I run it. You set these carburetors, the low speed needle at 1 1/4 out, the high speed at 1 1/2, and then once I get to 1 1/2, I tighten down. I just put pinch on the high speed needle, and that gives me a perfect tune. I can't wait till the Dominator pipe gets here. I'll be at work tomorrow, so I'll have to do that tomorrow night when I get home. Shouldn't be that hard to install. Hell, I'm a mechanic, so, and I have all the tools. My toolbox sits next to my home toolbox sits next to my RCs because I work on them so damn much. It comes with sway bars front and rear. You can get a kit that comes with stiffer or looser sway bars if you decide to go that route. The pull start is right here, so you don't have to take the cage off to start it. Let's see, that's pretty much it with this. Very, very fun. I will say that, very fun. I'm waiting for the MT-XL to come out with the extra parts. I'm going to get the extended chassis and all the parts to turn this into the MT-XL. Come the first, I'm getting a Zenoa G320 motor, and that's going to just give me so much more power, and especially with a monster truck, you need that extra power. And also getting rid, with a monster truck, why do you want to have wheelies and shit like that. You don't want, I don't want a center diff. With a buggy, I can understand, but monster truck, no. I mean, I want to be able to do wheelies, have fun with it. I mean, you can't do that with a center diff because the center diff is going to take up the rotation if any of the wheels come off the ground. The Pioneer wheels from King Motors have held up great off and on road. I've had them on road more than off. I actually have them negative cambered in a little bit and toe out, so I have faster steering. But now I have to install the Area RC toe links. One of the family members getting onto the puppy. Still hasn't learned how to go outside and take a shit. I still have the 5th scale lighting kit from my X-Maxx, and I'm going to mount it right here, and I'm going to get an extra yellow one to put right here, and then I'm going to put the red on the back, or possibly even Dremel this out and put it in my wing. I don't know how I'm going to do that yet. But that's basically it with the DBXL. Like usual, got any comments? If you like what you're seeing, subscribe. There's going to be more. But that's going over the DBXL, and so many shortcomings with the X-Maxx. I'm so disappointed with Traxxas. I said in my HPI video I will never own another Traxxas vehicle. I misspoke there. I will get the M41 catamaran and immediately take out the VXL 6S Fireball ESC and put in a Hobby Wing Max 5. Hell, if I can, I'll get a ESC that can go 8S and put a 2028 motor in it so it'll go even faster and get a better prop for it. I don't have any boats, but I know a lot about them. I read a lot. I watch a lot of videos. That's why I know so much. July 17th is basically the anniversary that I got into true hobby RC vehicles. My first RC vehicle was a Hobbytown USA Dominus Hellion. It was very fun. It was brushed. I switched it out for a Sidewinder SV3 with 3800 kV motor. Changed a bunch of things. Of course, I'm going to modify the hell out of it. Absolutely loved it. Ended up selling it. Wish I didn't to this day. But I sold it to get money to finance my Phantom 3. So, you win some, you lose some. So, unless there's anything that I can look at real quick and see, that's basically it. I will mention this. A lot of people have problems with the pins coming out of the drive shafts, the center drive shafts. The FLM Forever drive shafts. They have a screw on each side of the pin, like the X-Maxx, where you have that screw that holds the pins in for the suspension. It has the same thing for that little pin, so it will not come out either side. So it was very nice to get all the upgrades with this. The only upgrades I really have to do now is servos, motor, chassis, center, differential case mount, Turtle Racing snapper clutch, just some small things. Nothing overly big or anything like that. I mean, just some small things. And I'm just checking out my drive pins real quick to make sure there's no flat spots, and there are none. Gotta love the Forever drive shafts. They're thicker. They're, I believe, 5 millimeter compared to the 4. But that's it for the DBXL. As I do more to it, as I get the wing mounted and get extra upgrades installed on it, I'll be doing videos, update videos. I still have to install this outerwear, which, I mean, I can't do it with the body on, because I actually, as you saw when I had it the other way, I cut out the hole, hoping to get a little more heat out and a little more air in. But that's it. Like I said, got any comments, questions, like what you see, subscribe. That's it. I added the DDM Racing Dominator pipe, as you can see. I got it in black. I didn't want it all shiny. I wanted it to be in with like the cage. I got to run it for about 5 minutes before a storm hit, so I'm gonna get it on tape of how it runs. Once I start it, you can't hear my voice because it is loud. Still doesn't have a lot of low-end torque, but once it hits the mid-range, it just flies.